So when you and CST McDaniel go out there, without going into the contents of what it said, do you at least get some sort of briefing as to what occurred or what you might be looking for in terms of documenting or collecting evidence?
Yes.
Okay. Now, in these situations, are you always given the full picture, the full knowledge of what happened?
Yes.
Okay. Are there times, though, where evidence might be processed or documented that might not always be relevant to the case or to what occurred?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I'm going to show you what's already been introduced in the state's evidence. Can you just tell the members of the jury what we're looking at here?
This is a photograph of the scene.
Okay. And is this a photograph that you took?
Yes.
Okay. And is this that house that we just mentioned that was at 327 Southeast 32nd Ave?
Correct.
Okay. And just to confirm, what city and county was this located in?
It was in Marion County, Ocala.
Okay. And now, do you and crime scene technician McDaniel end up going inside of the home?
Yes.
And when you guys go inside of the home, kind of walk us through what is the first thing you do when processing or documenting a crime scene?
The first thing you do is either you video the home or you take photographs.
And did you take photographs in this case?
Yes.
And did you take photographs of the entirety of the inside of the house, the outside of the house, and the scene?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm also going to go to what's been previously marked as States 1, photograph number 3. Is this the scene that you observed when you first walked into the home?
Yes.
Now, I kind of want to circle back and ask you, when you respond to the scene, when you go in to document it, are you getting there right there when law enforcement is originally responding and actively getting to the scene, or do you show up at a different time?
I show up at a different time.
Can you kind of elaborate or explain to us why that is?
I am not a first responder, so when the officers show up on scene, they are the first responders. They do medical response, priority of life. Life is a priority, and then I respond after.
Okay. And at that point, is it safe to say the scene has been cleared and secured to where there's no threat or any safety concerns to you?
That's correct.
Okay. Now, I know some of these photos have already been introduced, but you said you also did take other photos of the house.
That is correct.
Now, do you also, when you go through and you see items of evidence, do you mark those items of evidence or those items that you might potentially collect or want to further document?
Correct.
How do you indicate or mark items of evidence that are of interest that you want to potentially collect or document or things of that nature?
How do I,
how do you mark that that's an item of interest or something when you're taking these photos? Like, how do you mark something as a potential item for evidence?
We have evidence markers.
And what do those evidence markers look like?
They are yellow, kind of the shape of an open triangle, and they'll have either letters or numbers on them.
Okay. And what do you do with those evidence markers once you kind of take them out and use them?
I will place them down by the evidence, and then I'll make sure to take a photograph to document.
So you also take photographs documenting those evidence markers of the things that you might potentially collect or that might have some sort of a relevance or value to them?
Correct.
I'm showing defense what's been previously marked as States Exhibit G for identification. Without showing the jury, if you don't mind, can you look through this and let me know if you recognize what that is?
These are the photographs that I took of the scene.
All right, and are those photographs fair and accurate depictions of what you observed, what you marked for evidence, and ultimately ended up collecting?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this point in time, State would move into evidence what's been previously marked as G for identification as States 7.
No objection.
Without objection, what's been marked for identification as State's Exhibit G will be admitted into evidence as State's Exhibit 7.
And Your Honor, I'm going to obviously publish kind of as we go, if that's okay.
Yes, sir.
So let's go to the first photo and State 7. Can you just kind of briefly explain to us what exactly we're looking at here?
This is the dining room table with the evidence markers I described placed down.
Okay, and are those evidence markers those yellow things we see with the giant letters on them?
Yes.
Okay. So obviously there's kind of a lot we're looking at here on the table, but what is the purpose of those evidence markers that we see in this photograph? Is it to kind of draw our attention to those items?
Yes.
Okay. So I want to go through that. Do you end up collecting the items that are at each evidence marker?
Yes.
Okay. So let's kind of go through those one by one. I'm going to go to photograph 2. Can you just tell the members of the jury what we're looking at here?
It is a 9mm Glock firearm.
And did you end up collecting that firearm?
Yes.
Now, when I'm asking you the question of do you collect these items for evidence, can you kind of walk us just briefly through that process of what that means to collect items and how that's stored in evidence and what that looks like?
So when you collect an item, you place it in a bag, whether it be plastic or paper, depending on what the evidence is, and then you will submit it into the case file at the police department.
And Your Honor, I'm going to now show defense what's been previously marked as State's Exhibit H for identification. And I'm going to give you, I have a little cutter here if you need to cut the tape or anything. Is if you don't mind, if you can open that up and let me know if you recognize it without showing it to the jury yet.
This is the firearm.
And is that firearm in the same or substantially similar condition as when you collected it?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this point in time, State would move in evidence what's been previously marked as H for identification as State's 8.
No objection.
Without objection, what's been marked for identification as State's Exhibit H will be admitted into evidence as State's Exhibit 8.
I'm going to leave this with you. And if I may publish to the jury, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
Go to photograph number 3. We see kind of a couple different items here. If you can kind of just walk us through what each evidence marker is kind of identifying, and then we'll kind of go through each item one by one. So if we can kind of go in alphabetical order, start with B and then go through E.
Evidence marker number B marks a blue iPhone.
Okay.
Evidence.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Evidence marker C marks a MK18 5.56 rifle firearm. Evidence marker D is a magazine with live rounds inside, and then evidence marker E is a flower magazine.
And do you ultimately end up collecting all of these items at those markers that you just named?
That's correct.
Going to photograph number 4 of State's Exhibit 7, is this just a closer up photo of the C, D, and E that we just explained to us?
That's correct.
And you said that marker number C was specifically marking which item?
The rifle.
Okay. And did you also end up collecting that rifle?
Yes.
And is that the same process that you just explained to us about where you collect the item, put it into evidence, and keep it for storage?
Correct.
Okay. Your Honor, at this point in time, I'm now showing defense what's been previously marked as State's I for identification. we can open it.
Yes,
so
sir.
defense can see it.
I would cut some.
And, you know, I'll kind of come around to the side, but again, if you don't mind, if you can just look in here and let me know if you recognize that.
Yes,
What is that?
that is the rifle that I collected.
And is it in the same or substantially condition as when you recovered it?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this point in time, state would move in evidence what's been previously marked as state's I for identification as state's 9.
No objection.
Without objection, what's been marked for identification as State's Exhibit I will be admitted into evidence as State's Exhibit 9.
If I can publish it.
Yes, sir.
Now I'm going to go to the next photograph and state's exhibit 7, which is going to be photograph number 5. Can you remind us what photograph, what that marker D is indicating or what that's signifying?
The loaded magazine and also the loose live round.
Okay, and is that the magazine and live round that we see depicted in that photo?
Correct.
And same question I'm going to ask that I've kind of been asking, did you end up collecting that magazine and that live round?
That's correct.
Your Honor, I'm going to show what's been previously marked as state's J for identification to defense. If you don't mind, if you can just look in there and let me know if you recognize that.
I'm going to open it.
Yes. And do you recognize what's in there?
Yes.
What's in that evidence bag?
The magazine that I collected.
Okay. And is that magazine and live round in the same or substantially condition as when you recovered it?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this point in time, state would move in evidence what's been previously marked as J for identification as state's 10.
May I ask a board hour question?
You may.
All right.
Officer Bolton,
Yes.
that magazine was actually on the side of the dining room table farthest from the kitchen, right?
Are you asking me that?
Yes, ma'am. Where on the table was it?
It's in front of the rifle
Right. And where was the rifle?
at the back of the table.
Okay. Farthest away from where the victim would have been seen.
I can't measure that.
Go back picture. There we go. That. So You don't know where the table was originally. Is that a fair statement?
Correct.
But the magazine you're referring to is on the side of the table away from the kitchen.
Correct.
No other questions? And I don't have an objection.
Well, that objection was marked for identification as State's Exhibit J will be admitted to evidence as State's Exhibit 10.
And if I may push.
Yes, sir. And members of the jury state you're aware all items admitted into evidence as exhibits are sent with you to the jury room when you deliberate. You can inspect them as you see fit during your deliberations.
Now, I know you said in the photo, we also see it, that the magazine was loaded and there was an extra round. Do you end up packaging the rounds and the magazines separately?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a reason why you do that?
It's our policy.
Okay. So it's not that that was necessarily exactly how the magazine was found. It's you take the rounds out and then put them in a separate package. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
But you did ultimately collect those rounds from that magazine.
Correct.
I'm going to show defense what's been previously marked as State's K for identification. Can you open that up within there and let me know if you recognize that? What's in that envelope?
The live rounds.
Okay, and those are the live rounds that we see that are in the magazine and the one loose one at marker D.
Correct.
And are those in the same or substantially similar condition as when you recovered them on the day?
Correct.
Your Honor, at this point in time, State would move in evidence what's been marked as K for identification as State's 11.
No objection.
Without objection, what's been marked for identification as State's Exhibit K will be admitted in evidence as State's Exhibit 11.
Going to jump back to photo 4. So we've talked about the rifle at C, the magazine at D. Can you remind us what marker E is identifying as that you eventually collected?
The flower magazine.
And going to photograph number 6, is that flower magazine that you were discussing with us?
Yes.
Okay. Now, did you ultimately collect the flower magazine?
Yes.
Similar situation we see in the photo that there's rounds in that flower magazine. Did you do what you did with the other magazine where you took the rounds out and packaged those separately?
That's correct.
Okay. So let's go with the magazine first. I'm going to show defense what's been marked as State's L for identification. If you can open this up and let me know if you recognize what's inside.
It's the magazine.
Okay. And is that flower magazine in the same or substantially similar condition as when you recovered it on September 19th of 2024?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this point in time, State would move in evidence what's been previously marked as State's L for identification as State's 12.
No objection.
Without objection, what's been marked for identification as State's Exhibit L will be admitted into evidence as State's Exhibit 12.
And then also, Your Honor, I'm going to show defense for something previously marked as State's N for identification.
So M is in Mike or N November?
N is in Mike. Same as you've been doing. If you don't mind, you can open that up and let me know if you recognize what's inside there. Do you recognize what's in there?
Yes.
What's in that bag?
The live rounds that were in the magazine.
Okay. And are those live rounds the same, substantially similar condition as when you recovered them on September 19th, 2024?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this point in time, state will move into evidence what's been previously marked as M as in Mike for identification as states 13.
No objection.
Without objection, State's Exhibit M will be admitted as State's Exhibit 13.
Now I'm going to go back to photograph 1. Were there other items that you ended up collecting from this table that weren't necessarily marked by the evidence markers?
Yes.
Okay. So I kind of want to go through, can you kind of tell us where some of those items were that you ended up recovering from the table as well?
Under evidence marker D, there is a black rifle magazine.
Okay. And was that black rifle magazine, did it also have live rounds in there?
Yes.
Okay. What else besides the black magazine with the rounds inside the magazine did you recover from the table?
There were boxes of ammunition on the bottom. On the table.
So let's kind of go through those one by one. I'm going to show defense what's been previously marked as states N for identification as in Nancy. You can open that up and let me know if you recognize that. What's in that bag?
The magazine.
Okay, and is that in the same or substantially similar condition as when you recovered it?
Yes.
Your Honor, state's going to move into evidence what's been previously marked as N for identification purposes as states 14.
No objection.
Without objection, State's Exhibit N will be admitted into evidence as State's Exhibit 14.
I'm also going to show defense what's been previously marked as states O for identification. If you don't mind, you can just also open that, look in there, and let me know if you recognize what's in the bag. Do you recognize what's in there?
Yes.
What's in that bag?
The live rounds that were in the magazine.
Okay, and are those in the same or substantially similar condition as when you recovered them from the magazine on September 19th of 2024?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this point in time, state will move in evidence what's been marked as O for identification as states 15.
No objection.
Without objection, State's Exhibit O will be admitted as State's Exhibit 15.
You also stated, I believe you said that there was boxes of ammunition on the table as well too that you recovered?
That's correct.
How many boxes of ammunition were there?
2.
Okay. Your Honor, I'm going to show defense what's been previously marked as states P and Q for identification. Can you please look in both of these bags and let me know if you recognize what's in both of those? Do you recognize what's in both of those bags?
Yes.
So can we start off with P? Is what's in that bag in the same or substantially similar condition as when you recovered it?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this point in time, state would move in evidence what's been previously marked as P for identification as State 16,
No objection.
States P will be omitted as States Exhibit 16.
and as well as for for what's been marked as Q for identification. Is that in the same or substantially similar condition as when you recovered it?
Yes.
Your Honor, the state would move into evidence what's been previously marked as Q for identification as State 17.
No objection.
States Q will be omitted as States Exhibit 17.
Now, looking at this photograph that I have up here, which is State 7, photograph number 1, we see the evidence markers that you were discussing on the table. We also see one that's number or letter F that's on the floor. What was F marking or identifying?
The shell casing.
Okay. And is this that same evidence marker F that we were just discussing?
Yes.
And is that the shell casing in the photo that you were just explaining to us that you observed or collected at that spot?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'm going to show defense what's been previously marked as R for identification purposes.
No objection.
If you don't mind, can you open this up and just let me know if you recognize that? Do you recognize that?
Yes.
What is that?
The shell casing.
And is that in the same or substantially similar condition as when you recovered it?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this point in time, state we move in evidence what's been previously marked as States R, bless you, States, bless you again, States R for identification as States 18.
No objection.
States Exhibit R will be omitted into evidence as States Exhibit 18.
And if I may publish that to the jury.
Yes, sir.
Now, was this dining room table the only area of the house that you documented and or collected evidence from?
No.
Okay. Was there also items of evidence that you documented or collected that were like in the living room area in front of the couch?
That is correct.
Okay. What did you end up documenting or collecting in that room of the residence?
A black iPhone.
I'm going to show you what's photograph number 8 and States Exhibit 7. This is kind of that zoomed out photo, but is that what we see marked by evidence marker G in this photograph? Is that phone that you were just discussing?
Yes.
I'm going to zoom in. Is that the same evidence marker that we were discussing?
Yes.
Okay. And did you ultimately end up collecting that phone?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'm going to show defense what's been previously marked as States S for identification. Do you recognize this?
Yes.
What is that?
The black iPhone.
Okay. And is that in the same or substantial or similar condition as when you recovered it?
Yes.
Your Honor, state would move in evidence what's been previously marked as States S for identification as States 19.
No objection.
Without objection, States Exhibit S will be omitted into evidence as States Exhibit 19.
So I kind of want to reorient because we've talked about the items you collected off the table as well as the phone that was in the living room area. Did you also document and take photographs of other rooms of the house?
Yes.
Okay. Did you ultimately make a determination or find the area where you believe the projectile went or where came to a stop?
Yes.
What room of the house did you believe that the projectile was at?
The kitchen.
Okay. And looking at this photograph, photograph 3 of States 1, or I'm sorry, States 2, is where is the kitchen in relation to this scene that we're looking at? Or this kind of let us know where the kitchen's at.
Behind where the chair is located.
Okay. Now let's go to photograph number 10. Is this that chair that we saw in the last photo?
Yes.
And can you just kind of tell the members of the jury the purpose of taking this photo and what we're seeing on the chair?
I took the photo to document the possible blood located on the chair.
Okay. And can you just kind of highlight to the members of the jury the areas on the chair where the suspected blood was at?
The backrest area.
Going to photograph number 11, is this that same chair?
Yes.
Photograph 12, can you let the members of the jury know what you're documenting in this photograph?
The possible blood located on the floor.
Photograph 13, what are you documenting with this photo?
The south wall with the black chalk board located on it with possible blood spatter on it.
And where on that wall are you seeing the possible blood spatter? Just kind of point us out to that area.
Located beneath the chalkboard.
And can you let us know what we see here in photograph number 14?
And overall of like the entryway into the kitchen, but you can also see on both walls possible blood spatter.
And in this photo here, can you also see that bullet hole that you referenced that was in the kitchen?
Yes.
Can you just kind of point the members of the jury where that bullet hole is that you see it in the photo?
Straight ahead on that south wall.
And is this a closer up photo of that bullet hole that you were just discussing?
Yes.
Okay. And can you kind of describe where that was in relation to the kitchen area that we were looking at?
It's straight ahead in the kitchen on that south wall.
Your Honor, if I can just have a moment to confer.
Yes, sir.
No further questions.
Any cross-examination?
Yes, sir.
And Your Honor, you can take that down.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Do you have any idea how many different police officers had been in the house